Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to talk about the index file, in short the staging area. Before pushing the changes to the .git folder using git command, we first check, confirm and stage those changes. And when we run git commit, these changes are added to .git folder along with our git commit message. So this concept is fundamentally important to understand as it will act the building block for other git commands. So without wasting much time, let's get right into the video. Staging area is like preparation area for commit. So whatever files we have modified, so this is files that we have modified, this is stage and this is commit. So these files don't go over here directly. This is one path they have to take, and over here we either pick whatever change we want to stage and then commit, or even we can take all the changes in the staging area and then push it, not push it, commit. Push means in git terms is when we push our changes to our online repo, wherever it is present, GitLab, Bitbucket or GitHub. So it's like, I have taken one example, packing your bags before going on a trip. So trip is commit then to online repo. So this is where we are packing all the changes. Now we have understood what does the index file does, what is the core concept behind it. Now let's see how it does. So for a particular change that we stage, we create an entry in the file with the path, with the hash of its content, the size of that file, the modification time of that file and the permission. So let's understand them one by one. Path is the relative path. Relative path means you have ABCD project. Inside that you have that index file, HTML. So the path of this file is with respect to ABC folder. There is one thing called absolute path that is according to the OS. So that's why we are using relative path. Absolute path can differ according to the OS. So that's why we use this relative path, so it is independent of the OS. Hash is the whatever in index.html, whatever is the content that is hashed, and store it, and we use SHA1. Size is the size of this file. Modification time, when this file was modified. This and permission, different file have different types of permission. Basically if it's an executable file, it will have different type of permissions, so that is also stored. Maybe this file from text file to now it's executable file, the permission would be different, so that's why to check that. So you would be seeing that we have so many things other than hash. So from hash we can check that is this file modified or not, but these metadata also help. How they help is basically instead of calculating the hash of a content then comparing it, you can directly see if the size changed, if the modification time changed, if the permission changed. So these are also an indicator of the difference, that the file, the instance or the permission on which we staged this file is different from the current. So these metadata also help in checking if that there is some difference in the file and there is some change, and to show the user that he or she needs to stage them for the commit. You must be wondering why we are storing the path in the index, as we have the hash, as hash would be unique for different content. If we have same content, hash would be same. So with that in mind, let's discuss this example. We have file 1.txt, file 2.txt, both have same content, same size, same modified time, same permission, everything is same. Now how we will differentiate? So we will differentiate using the path. Other example is, let's say we change the file name to a new file. You will say modified would have changed, but it doesn't change. When we change the file name, the modified time doesn't change. If we change the content of that file, then we say it is modified. So in that case also, if you want this new rename thing to be reflected in your online repo, so path comes in the picture, which will say that path is changed. Now let's move to the coding part, and first thing I would say is, most of the methods that we are discussing over here are used in other Git commands. So I'll go over what we implemented, when then we will see the application of them in other Git commands when we will discuss that. So first thing is that we have created this index entry struct, which stores every information about that file that is pushed into the stage. And we have an index struct, which basically has that map of key, string, and index entry, basically information about the file. And we have the index path, basically where this index file is stored. We need to know where it is stored. So whenever there is a instance which we need to access throughout the code, we create that instance using this new index method, and basically it will return a instance of that index struct, which contains entries, a map basically with keys of string and values as index entry, and the index path of where this index file is currently being stored. And we have other methods. Let's discuss them one by one. This method, what it does is basically just enters an entry in the map about the file with respect to a path that we provide. Hash is of the content, and information is about the file, what is the size, modified time, and permission. Other method is remove, very basic, it just deletes the entry from the map. And there is get, to see if there is a particular entry and provide the value of that entry. And get all is to provide the map, whatever entries are there in that map we can directly access through the get all method. Another method is save method. So what it does is, whatever we have added using our add method, we have it in our map. Now we have to add those things as an entry in the index file. So we create them as one line and add it to the file. As simple as that. Over here we are just accessing the entries. Entries is a map, so it is self-explanatory, and this is for if it's the file is there, if this in this path, if this file is there, it's fine, we'll access and add this entry. If it's not there, we'll create. And our last method is how we will access the content that is inside the index file. So basic code for accessing the file and basically scanning the content of that file, and dividing into the 5 parts, as we have 5 parts: path, hash, size, modified time, and permission. So we create those paths and we have all of them as strings. So path and hash is fine, but we need to convert them back to integers. So we are converting in them back to int. So same for modified time and permission. Over here we are using 32 because for permission we don't require, but over here we have used 64 and it's decimal we are using. And when we return back, we are basically converting it back into time object and to the file mode. Over here we are converting this from string to int, then to required values over here. That's it. So this is the end of the video. I hope this was something new and interesting to learn, and if you found this video useful, consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and add a comment what you felt can be done better or which I did better. Basically your thoughts on this video. And yeah, you have to do what you have to do. So keep grinding guys. You are awesome. See you in the next one. Bye bye.